What's up, YouTube? My name is John Othello, and I am back with another video. Please, I know this is my second video, but if you come across this video, please just like, comment, rate, subscribe, share, just help a brother out. I recently just quit my job because I'm really trying to pursue all the endeavors that, I want to. So, the quickest I can become a YouTube partner and, be making coins and are more comfortable with me not having a source of income would be greatly appreciated. But the reason why I brought you all here today is I wanted to talk about the top 5 reasons people who are around money or rich people can tell that you are broke. And this is pertaining to me being in like a luxury environment. Like I said in the previous video, I worked at a 5-star hotel for 7 years. So I was around many people, celebrities, billionaires, and I want to talk more about that openly, candidly. Of course, I'm not going to use names and stuff like that. But one thing that I noticed is instead of, and I think that's what I kind of want as a part of this channel, I want people to be able to have a good time, to splurge on themselves and, go into luxury environments without having to put on. Because when you do it, it's so obvious. It is so obvious. And you are embarrassing yourself. We're laughing at you. You're not impressing anybody but yourself. So I want to give you all the top 5 reasons. And if this does work and if y'all want, more things, then I'll talk about it. But right now I'm just thinking about what comes to my head, what comes at the top of my head. The first thing I would say is high maintenance. When people say they're high maintenance, it annoys the fuck out of me, because I think being high maintenance, in my opinion, is bullshit. Like, I don't really think that, I think that you could be like assertive and know what you want, but I think to the point where you are purposely trying to be picky, you are just trying to look like you're like a Kardashian, and it's not working. You're just being a complete bitch. You're not spending no coin. You wasting my time. Like, it's annoying. Like, I remember one time, and I want to say I talked about this on a podcast I had did a while back, like a few years ago. But I remember one time this lady, she wanted tap water. But she wanted like muddled fruit in the tap water. So I was just like, you want me to, because if you don't know, I bartend at this, well, I did bartend at this luxury hotel. And so you want muddled fruit in your tap water. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you want me to take the time to run to the kitchen to go grab you strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, just to muddle into your tap water? Like, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Compared to someone who, because there are people who just know what they want, and initially, like, I know like a doctor, and when I first started working there, I remember she used to annoy the fuck out of me because she was so particular. Like, she would always come and she would get like a bottle of wine, and she would ask like, has it been open today? And sometimes I would lie, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would be like, yeah, it was open today, even though it was probably open like a day ago, because while I work at, like, we go through wine so much like that, especially like the wines that we offer by the glass. It was like, we didn't have, wines didn't last 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had Coravin wines where if you don't know what a Coravin wine is, but it's like, basically, it's like a machine that you would use, and it's kind of like a syringe that you stick into a wine bottle. And that way you can access wines. I want to say it's like argon, something like that. Some chemical that they release with the needle into the wine. And then that pressure brings the wine out. So that way you can like literally access these luxury wines, these expensive wines that typically are offered by the bottle because they're so expensive. If you're not going to sell 3-4 glasses of a $28 glass of wine, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's some people big ball. I mean, I've seen it before, but it's just not common. You'll sell like 1 glass, but typically like those wines, that Coravin process, those wines can last, I think, from like 3 to 6 months. But, where I worked, those bottles will only last maybe 3 weeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least once a week, someone would get a Corvin. You know, I would have a guest that would get a Corvin bottle. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I feel like, you know, like being like that, you know, or I was going back to the doctor, like she would ask me, like, has it been open? I was like, it was open yesterday. She would smell it and she would just be like, yeah, I can tell this was, you know, and she was right, you know, and it used to annoy the shit out of me, but it was like when I got to know her, I was just like, she's really just like, just know what she wants. You know, it is what it is. And she's not a bitch. She's not being bitchy. She's just, you know, she's used to a certain style of service. She's used to certain things and she know what it is compared to somebody who just wants to be extra, you know, and asking me for complimentary stuff, like keep asking me for free stuff or, you know, free add-ons and all this. And you're like, oh, I don't mean to be high maintenance. I'm sorry. Like, no, that's not, you're like literally like just being cheap, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just sit here and ask me about all the glasses of wine and then you want to taste it. And that was a trick too. If you work in luxury environments, if you work in you know, like that hotel space, or you work, you know, for a really expensive restaurant, that's a trick too. When people want to, you know, they'll want to taste a bunch of wines and you know that they're typically going to get the cheapest one. What I do is I'm like, oh, let's do a taste test, you know, like let's do a blind taste test so you can really pick, you know, what you want, you know, and I phrase it like that. So where it's like, you know, in the back of your mind, you're not thinking about money. You just like what tastes the best. And they always are going to pick the more expensive shit. Like they always are. So it's like you wasted my time. I'm actually getting my tab to where I want to be at, and we could just move on. And you could sip on that glass of wine because I know that $20 glass or that $22 glass of wine you was not expecting. You was looking for the $10 glass, which is still not cheap, but it's like an environment that I was in, that was the cheap shit. $10 was like the lowest you could get some shit. You know what I'm saying? Number two, the second thing that, you know, broke people do, you know, when trying to look rich and people can tell, is they name dropping, you know, name dropping, whether it's celebrities or, you know, there is someone who, like, if we have a guest who has pool, you know, and like a VIP guest. Oh, and also that I want to lean that back to being high maintenance too. If you're not a fucking VIP, and we know, you know what I'm saying? Because when you are in certain environments, like people do research, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not trying to be nosy, but it's just like you want to get to know your guests. Like if I have had the same guests for, you know, 3-4 months, they're coming in 2-3 nights a week. They're staying at the hotel once a week. Usually they're spending at least, and it's by themselves or, you know, a group of people spending $200, you know, I'm going to look you up and see, you know, what you're about. I mean, it's not going to change. I'm still going to, because in that environment, like you're still going to treat everyone like kings and queens and, you know, with the utmost respect, even though I give people what they give me. Like if you are being completely rude or an asshole, like I will do the same. And I've learned to be shady as fuck, and I've learned to get around it, you know, without getting in trouble. It has been a few times where I have gotten, you know, not written up, but I've gotten like a strong talk to. But yeah, like I think especially, you know, in hospitality, you have to just treat people with the utmost respect because they're not trying to, you know, in my environment, like, you know, even if somebody's thinking something in their mind, you're not going to know that because we are trained, you know, we're Forbes trained to take care of, you know, royalty and billionaires and celebrities and, you know, all these, you know, government people, you know. So of course the average person, like we're going to treat exactly the same, like, because we don't know, because in that environment, you really don't know who knows who. You know, and then all it literally takes is like that one phone call. You being an asshole, it takes one phone call, you know what I'm saying? And it's a wrap. Especially like, you know, you can't stereotype anybody. Especially like with you know, when I remember, and I want to talk about that in another video, when I had worked at Applebee's, you know, and me being ignorant, I was young. I was like only 20 years old. I'll be 30 next year. But I was only 20 years old. And I remember it was a point in time where I did not like taking black people. Of course, I didn't like taking like white trash either. Like if you had the camouflage on, or you gave any of that, any redneck vibes as well, I would give my table away. But I remember me being young and ignorant. I would just assume that people were gonna tip $2-3. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, but before I left, because I ended up leaving Applebee's, I was there maybe 3 years, And before I left, like my whole mentality changed. It was just me first starting off, me being like not good at my job, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, having people who were pressuring me because I wasn't good at my job, and then also being assholes on top of it and, running me around, it made me not want to take my own people, which is fucked up, But yeah, before I left, like my whole mentality changed. I was like, I don't care. Like I'll assist anybody. It takes one time. Once I know you ain't shit, you know what I'm saying? You come back, then of course I'm going to ignore you. Of course I'm going to give the table away. But, you can't do that. Like I remember one time I had this party full of hood bitches, and I say that with the utmost respect, but they was ghetto as fuck. But they was really nice, and I didn't think too much of it. Child. And they left me like 40. And Applebee's is cheap. Like you get 10 people, your tab still ain't finna be $100. Maybe it'll be 120. You know what I'm saying? But they left me $40 on that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, and if I would have came into it like they being ghetto, all these people, they not finna tip me because we don't add auto gratuity to tabs. I'm wasting my time. Then I would have got fucked up compared to making, some little coin. And that was $40 on the table. That was good, working at Applebee's. But the environment I work at now, that's what I'm trying to get minimal. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't work there anymore. But the environment that I was at, I was trying to get $40 minimum from a table. I was trying to get your tab up to $200 at the least. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, name dropping celebrities, acting like you're close with somebody who has pool, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be like the general manager or like, we had a bartender who was like really popular in the area, you know what I'm saying? Like he was almost like a local celebrity, or our executive chef, same deal, he was like a local celebrity as well, and they do that, but it's just like, you not that close with these people if they are not. Okay, I'm still there, sorry. You are not that close with these people if they are not letting you know, letting us know that you're in-house. Like, if we don't know that you're there, like, I'm telling you, you not that close to the people. Like, if you were that close to the people, like, they would come over to speak to you. You would have their number to text them. You know what I'm saying? It would be a big deal about you coming in. And it don't be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just look dumb. You just be like, oh, yeah, so-and-so here. Oh. And then you ask them, or you tell them next day, like, a guest by last name, this was asked for. They don't even know who the fuck you are. They don't even know who you are. Like, you looking dumb. Like, the third thing I would say is, ways that being in a luxury environment, people can tell when you're broke, is unnecessarily being difficult, rude, and ready to complain about everything. Now, I worked for a 5-star hotel, and don't get me wrong, like, nobody's perfect. People make mistakes. But this is a 5-star, Forbes 5 rated hotel where they have inspectors, anonymous inspectors come in every year, from AAA, and, we'll get different reviews where people just come in. Do you think that people are really going to have, yeah, mistakes do happen, but do you think people are going to have the worst time to the point to where it's like a huge deal and you need to get your whole stay comped and you need to get your whole meal, you know what I'm saying? Only time I see shit like that happening is if, like, the kitchen is fucked up, which people should understand, and they do let you know, if it's clearly like, if you are on a wait, you know what I'm saying, already coming in, you on an hour wait, then you wait, like, you should know what kind of time it is that you're waiting for the food. Or, you know what I'm saying, I remember one time a pipe had burst, and we had to have all the guests come into And I want to say this was like late at night, like 11 at night. But we had to bring them into a banquet space, and then we had gave them wine, like free wine. And also, like, they comped the guests who were staying that night, they comped their stay. It was people still there who were not staying in the house complaining. It's like, go the fuck home. Like, what do you want? Like, literally, a pipe fucking burst. Like, we're in danger. Everybody's completely stressed. Why are you complaining about some place that you don't have to be at? It's not like you one of these guests that ended up having to stay overnight and they from out of state and they don't have nowhere else to go right now. Or you work here. You're choosing to be here. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Or they'll come in, like, you could tell when guests are ready to complain, that like their whole demeanor. When they come in, they be short. They walk right past you, don't want to speak to you. Like, it's just real awkward. And it's like, soon as something happens, and I fucking hate that. It's like, soon as the littlest thing happens, like, it just sets them over the edge. You know, like, I remember one time I had these two ladies come in. It's like a mother and daughter. And the whole time, the whole vibe, they was short, slightly rude. They asked for, I want to say they asked for like 2 pieces of lettuce on a burger. And so, the girl was like, she was like, tell her mom, she's like, what do you want, mom? Like, you know, I'm paying or whatever. And the mom was like, you know, she want this burger with 2 pieces of lettuce. And so I could tell by that time, like, you know, how it was going. And I remember saying to my manager, who that fucking gets on my nerves too, management staff, y'all need to fucking help. Like, don't sit here and, you know, you want all the credit. You want to fucking sit in the office all day. You want to be on Facebook. But then it's like when it's time to deal with guest issues, you are throwing your staff members out there when you already know that when these people are ready to complain, they're not respecting nobody but anyone with a suit on. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's literally all you have to do as management is just go and talk. Like, that's what I realized. If you go and talk to them and be like, hey, how's it going? You know what I'm saying? Give them a free glass of wine. People whole demeanor change because they just want they do that shit because they want shit for free most of the time. Unless the shit, like an environment, if something was really bad, which is rare, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying we're perfect, like I said before, but it's just like most of the time people be on bullshit. But yeah, like the food came out, the burger came out fine, but it had more than 2 pieces of lettuce. This lady freaked out. And I remember I had told, like, right before it came out, and I seen, because she asked mom, she was like, how many pieces of lettuce is on that burger? And the mom started counting the lettuce. Like, just dumb. Like, just fucking petty. And as soon as she said that, I ran up to our manager, like, please, can you please go talk to this table? He just completely ignored me. While I was saying that to him, she came yelling. And she was like, this place is too expensive. I spent all this money. I'm having a horrible time. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's clear. You wanted to have a good time. You didn't realize how expensive it was. You didn't realize that these rooms are starting off at a certain amount, at the least, you know, $300, and that's the bare minimum. You weren't used to that. They also charge you for incidentals, you know what I'm saying, which is $120 a night on top of it. So that's $420. You got to come out and you stay in 2-3 nights. So that's like $1,200-$1,300. Plus you need to eat. You know what I'm saying? So you not, on average, a guest who's staying a weekend is spending at least $1,500. You know, and if you weren't prepared to spend $1,500, you know, it could be stressful. But at the same time, that's why, unless you're ready, you should not go to those environments. I worked there for, like I said, 7 years, and I never went there to eat, ever. I don't work there now. I'm not going to go there to eat until I fit into that tax bracket of making $250,000 a year, because that's their target demographic or more. I'm not fucking with that place. I had fun while I was there. You know, it was a great team, beautiful environment, but I don't give a fuck. I don't. Why am I wasting money for these rich people? This hotel is owned by billionaires. No, I'm not giving them my fucking money at all. Number four. How you can tell a person is broke, but they're just trying to put on, is loud, shallow, superficial conversations. Like, every time you go to the table, they're talking about, this is another example. I remember one time I had, and maybe I'll go into depth on another, you know, another video. But I had a guest who, it was like it was two guys and a girl. And they were just like, oh yeah, we all got matching BMWs. Like that's how, just bragging the whole fucking time. And so when I got their order, the guy was like, what McAllens do you have? And I was like, you know, because that's one thing I learned too. Start up, go down. I offer the most expensive, not go down. But at the same time, I'm going to let you know. But I learned from that, you know, if you don't know, if you're not giving, you don't know what you are asking for, then I'll let you know, like, as a courtesy, do you want to know how much this price is? And so he was like, yeah, I'll get him a McAllen 25. First time I was just like, okay, well, they sitting here, and I should have known, because I was like, well, they sitting here bragging about, you know, having BMWs and shit like that, you know, and I should have known that they didn't have coin like that if you sitting here bragging about a fucking car, but okay. The McAllen 25 that we offered at the time, and I think it's more than that now, but it was like $250 a pour, because it's 25-year-old Scotch, you know, and Scotch is a big deal in this country, you know, so, yeah, it's $250, you know, a pour. And so, you know, he got that, and he ended up getting the second one, he ended up getting the third one, and I was just like, fuck. In my head, I knew, I was just like, this man do not know how much this shit is. Like, he don't know, like, and I'm just like, how do I let him know without being, like, disrespectful? Like, sir, I don't think you got $800, you know what I'm saying? Or even if he did, I don't think you're trying to spend $800, you know, right now on some drinks. Even though it does happen. You do have people with those expensive taste buds. Even though those kind of people, I do think they're like usually like scammers or doing some illegal shit. I'll get into that another time, you know what I'm saying? Because rich people, unless they come from long money, ain't never had to do shit, they're pretty, and I think still, they're still pretty, you know, they like nice things, but from what I've gathered, like they're still pretty frugal. You know what I'm saying? They're not spending money on dumb shit like that, like 25-year-old Scotch. They may have a bottle at the house, you know what I'm saying, which retail, you know, $1,500 or $200, but they're not spending $250 on one single shot. No. You know what I'm saying? I said 1,500 or 2,000 is what I meant to say. But yeah, the check came, and he was gonna have his friend pay for the check, which is how fucked up he is. And his friend was like, oh, I'm not paying for this. You're going to have to split it off. So I had brought him a separate check. And I'm going to say the bill was like $1,000. And then just his drinks was like $800 some dollars, because he got 3 shots of McAllen 25 plus tax, you know, $250 plus tax. It was like, I can't remember, but it was 8 something. And he was just like, I didn't know this was $250. And I was just like, I mean, I got so pissed. I was like, sir, you asked for 25-year-old Scotch, and you said McAllen 25. Like you knew how much the shit was. You know, you could tell the difference between somebody like, you know, I've never been in a Scotch, but, you know, I want to try McAllen. Like that person, you know, back then, now I tell everybody, you know, but that person back then, I would have told them, like, just so you know, as a courtesy, this $250 a pour. Is that okay? Not, you know, I just want you to know, you know, and people respect it. Some people get offended and they're just like, but it's so the fuck what, you know, but some people are just be like, thank you for letting me know. But yeah, I still get a pour, you know, because they don't, ain't nobody trying to say you broke. You know, real rich people understand that. They're not trying to say you broke, but this shit is fucking expensive. It's fucking expensive, you know? And I remember he was like, I thought it was like $45 a pour. And I was like, sir, I've never, since I've been in hospitality, have never seen a 25-year-old Scotch for $45. You know what I'm saying? Maybe McAllen 18, but not no 25, you know? And so he ended up paying, but he tipped me $8. So he tipped me like 1%. And he was like, next time, tell people how much stuff costs. Now, if you was not trying to come in here acting like a big shy and ordering shit, and then you expect your friend to pay for it, then it wouldn't have been no issue. Next time, know what the fuck you ordering. That's it. Like, it's simple. Like, read the menu. The menu has the prices in it. I remember when I first started, they didn't even put the prices in the menu. You know, quite as kept, I still don't think they should. Not because, you know, I'm being selfish, but I'm just like, to me, it just looks kind of tacky. But at the same time, you do have stuff that's that expensive to where guests need to know what they're paying for. So, I mean, I can see reasons, but then also, you know, I just think like as a staff, like we should just verbally let guests know, You know, as a courtesy, would you like to know the price? And then if they say yes, let them know the price. If they say no, then that's it, you know. Keep it classy. And then the fifth and final thing I would say is the entitlement. You know, and this goes into what I was saying earlier about high maintenance. You know, the entitlement, you know, the do you know who I am? And if you don't know, if you are in a luxurious environment, if you are in a, more than likely everybody is important in that bitch. And that's what you learn from, you know, being around them. Everybody, you know, but one thing that my friend says, and I want to say is on Blackish, the same thing, she comes from a pretty influential family, one of my best friends, and she said, wealth whispers. When people have money, they don't want you to know. People have money, they don't want you to know. I remember the first time I met her, we were real tight. We would hang out all the time. She would come to my house all the time. And then one time she was like, you know, I want you to, you know, come hang out, blah, 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 you know, but don't look at me any differently. And in my mind, I was like, partly I kind of already knew just by, you know, how she moved. And, you know, I went to private school and stuff like that, even though I wasn't rich, but, you know, I was around rich kids. So it was like, I kind of knew, you know, how she moved. And, you know, she was so classy and gracious. And, you know, she's a part of like these, you know, these influential things. What is it? Jack and Jill and, you know, stuff like that. She went to HBCU. Her parents paid her tuition, you know. And she was like, you know, I don't want you to look at me any differently. My good sis live in a whole gated community, $2 million house. Parents is lit. But by talking to these people, you would not fucking know. At all. At all. At all. And they don't like talking about it. So when people go for that, do you know who I am? Your reputation walks in the room before you do. Like, that's some real shit. If you're that important, and that's what I was saying earlier about VIPs, we're going to fucking know that you're a VIP. If you're that important, before you get there, a picture of you is going to be in the back. Where they're like, just so you know, this person is this, this, and that, this, and that. Because if you fuck up, you're getting fired. We're going to fucking know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just say all that to say, just keep it cute, stay humble. You know what I'm saying? We ain't there yet. The majority of us. It's literally 1% of the country. And people don't realize because they you know, listen to social media, watch social media, you know, but they don't realize that it's literally 1% of the country who's moving like the bitches you see on social media. That shit is fake. Or if it's not fake, they're prostituting, they're escorting. They're scamming, they're selling drugs, you know what I'm saying? They're getting over on people. The shit is not legal, it's not legit. That's stuff I want to talk about too as well, you know. But just have a good time, be humble. I just put this video out because I just want people to, you know, keep it classy. Just when you're in and you treating yourself, you want to have a good time and you want to, you know, blend in, just be yourself. That's the best way. That's the best way, is to be yourself. When I see somebody walk in with pajamas and they comfortable as a bitch, they not dressed to the nines, and they chilling, automatically I'm like, oh yeah, that motherfucker got coin. That motherfucker got a check. And 9 times out of 10, they usually do. 9 times out of 10, they usually do. Like I said, wealth whispers. Y'all gotta stop watching the Kardashians. The Kardashians do that shit for TV and thinking that's how the world works. It don't at all. At all. You look dumb as fuck. But with that, you know, thank you all for tuning in. Please, like I said, like, comment, rate, subscribe. You know, give me suggestions if you want to have a conversation. You know, what are some things that you notice, you know, that people may do and they don't realize, you know, that they're looking stupid and broke. And that's just it. I love y'all. Have a great day. Bye.